motion that we open the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation's meeting for June 12, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Introduce our panel. We have Ham Hogue, Esther Pastor, Christina Redding, Brian Brady. Unfortunately, we do not have Bo Robinson here, our legal counsel, but we do have our historic consultant, Zach Studenroth, and as always, we welcome you, Antoinette. We're going to start this evening's meeting with sign and first application sign.
Chairman, Kessler Gallery.
I have to
excuse me, sir.
interrupt.
Excuse me.
Point of order, point of order.
There is no point of order, sir.
It's a point of order.
Okay,
Sorry.
this is not a
It's
point of
only
law.
take 2 minutes. I think you know why I'm here. I'm not on the agenda.
Exactly.
I wasn't on the agenda the last time. I had to come because you can't find about the agenda until maybe 24, 48 hours before, and it could be put on even at the last minute. Now, I submitted the paperwork. They took my checks.
But sir,
I set up
my
the sign.
question to you is that
Now, if they hadn't cashed the checks, I would say, okay, well, fine. But they cashed checks totaling $635.
you're saying they. Who are they?
This is the building department.
That's your
To
problem.
me, there's.
Unfortunately, I'm not trying to be rude,
However,
sir.
I'm
trying not to be rude.
I
but
put this
it
thing
seems
up
to
the
be your
required number of days. I come, and you just blow me off.
I'm not blowing
And-
you off, sir.
and-
You're
yes,
not before
because
the
I mentioned this the
application.
last time.
Again, your concern is with the building department, and the building department is
But
the
isn't
one
this
who sets our agenda.
Isn't this the Board of Architecture?
This is, absolutely, and they set our agenda
Okay.
forth. So
It's
I do
stupid.
apologize. You would have to go and
It's
see
stupid.
the building inspector or the building department for any challenges with that.
What's his point?
So you may have left I think you left an envelope?
Sir.
You left an envelope?
No.
Is that yours?
Sitting there when I got.
Okay, have a good evening.
The ticking.
Unfortunately, the first application that's on our agenda has already been approved, which was Sea Green Design. So our first application, please.
Kessler Gallery,
Okay, this is
200
a
North Sea Road. There's actually two applications.
storefront and a freestanding sign. Your name for the record, please.
Chris Arnold.
Okay, we'll do the storefront first. Okay, so what you're proposing is just a black and white sign? Is that the sign that's going on the...
Yeah, I think with the red, the color, I'm not 100% sure, but yeah, I think the Kessler Gallery black and white, annex in red.
Okay.
I'm 90% sure. Is that?
What's the material?
Material of this is wood.
Right. So the wood is, what type of wood, sir?
I do not know the answer to that question.
What's the background of the sign? The driftwood? This is called the annex, right?
Yes.
Can you
this is
hold
the
that
law.
up,
Sure.
please? Okay, so what you've
That's
got
what I
is
submitted.
brick and you've got a wood sign, right?
Yeah.
Are the letters 12 inches or less?
The letters are.
It's fine. Christine, do you have any
The
comments?
annex?
No, it's fine.
Sorry. That's good. Okay.
Do you have any issues?
Color an issue?
I have no issues.
I'm fine.
Okay. Any public comment on the
Never done this
application?
Sorry.
I'm asking if there's any public comment on the application.
People behind you.
Public comment. Oh.
Yes.
Wait a second.
Yeah, those guys back there.
Okay. A motion to approve the storefront sign.
I make a motion that we approve the storefront sign on North Sea Road for Kessler Gallery.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
And now we have this freestanding sign. This is the sign that will be on the front lawn, correct?
Correct.
Same color, same design.
Yeah,
same
we're very
font.
consistent in our branding.
Oh.
So-
Okay.
Beautifully conservative. Love it.
Well, you know what?
Esther, any comments?
I think it's clean, it's fine. I vote we approve it.
Ham?
It's appropriate.
Christina?
Fine.
Any
Can I-
public comment?
Can I ask one question? We had put 40 feet as a distance from each street, and I understand 20 feet is that the law or whatever? I mean, like, our application says 40, does it have to be 40, or it can be anywhere from 20 to 40, or we probably want 40, but is that?
Did you request this information from the building inspector?
Yeah.
What did the building
I was
inspector
under the
say?
impression that 20 feet was code.
What did the building inspector say?
The builder said 20 feet was,
Builder,
yeah.
not the building inspector.
No.
Okay.
Did he
But
sign
the
on
40
it?
feet was like double just to be safe.
He signed off.
John Foster, the building inspector, signed off on 40 feet.
I did, okay, great.
So that's what's being proposed this evening.
Being careful.
Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the freestanding sign for the Kessler Gallery at 200 North Sea Road.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next
Have a
is
good evening.
Thank you very much. Have a good night.
Next
Good luck.
application.
St. Bart's Caravan for 3 storefront signs. 38A, Job's Lane.
Stacy Manzer, Hampton Signs.
Black and white.
Yes,
Logo is
their
black.
logo.
It's just a flower, correct?
Sorry,
Just a flower.
just the flower.
Logo. Wood.
PVC.
Any issues? Christine?
No.
Any questions?
Clean, good.
Very nice.
Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the application for the, are we doing 3 separate signs or all of them together?
There's another one here.
It says 3 storefront signs.
There's another one.
There's 2 signs and 1 window lettering.
It's all the same.
They're all the same.
They're all the same.
Very nice.
No, they're not. One says men in clothing, correct?
The window
decal.
lettering, the window lettering.
So this is the window lettering.
Okay.
The sign is black and white, same design, except it says men's.
Fine.
Any questions? Any issues?
No issues.
No, all 3 are appropriate.
Motion to approve all 3 applications.
Make a motion that we approve all 3 storefront signs for 38A Job's Lane, St. Barth Caravan.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Have a good night.
198, 100 Main Street for storefront sign, Organic Avenue.
Is the applicant present?
This is a therapy
This is in the
clothing, and it's a
theory
tiny little brass sign that sticks out there because they're gonna have a cooler in there with juice
Okay.
in it.
Christine, comments?
No,
I think it's great.
it's fine.
It's going to be a tiny hangover sign with the word Organic Avenue. Any questions from the public? Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the Organic Avenue storefront sign at 98 to 100 Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Next application, please.
Next application is Little Bird Healing Spa, 16 Hill Street for storefront sign.
Hi, how you doing, everybody?
Don't look like a little bird.
Bird.
I believe,
Your name for the record.
my name is Robert Nelson.
I thought he was going to say Little Bird.
I believe at the last meeting, a sign quite similar to this was approved, but I wanted to change the appearance of the bird and move it to the other side. Everything else is the same material, same color paint, same size lettering.
Okay, so you're just moving the bird,
Yes.
and the bird
You took off the,
lost
And
weight.
the
It's a different,
Took off the phone number.
Different bird.
it's a different style bird.
Yeah, he took the phone number off too, but
Set it at 5.5.
so you're going with
hour
a
audit today to look at a little bird.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's-
Well,
it's
this
great.
is, actually, we're using this in Hampton Bay. It's the same kind of bird, and
It's a nice bird.
it's a nice bird, yeah.
Esther, comments?
No issue.
Brian,
No issues.
Christine,
nope, good.
Pam. Any
Good.
public comment on the application? Motion to approve.
Thank
Make a
you.
motion that we approve the storefront sign for Little Bird Healing Spa on Hill Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye. Good luck.
Thank you all very much.
Okay.
Night.
Nice night.
Next
Next.
application, Mr. Chair, is for Southampton Center on 25 Jobs Lane, 2 signs. OCMN?
My name is CMX Sami. I'm representing the Southampton Center Founders Committee tonight for approval for 2 signs for the Jobs Lane, 25 Jobs Lane facility, which is the Atterbury designed former Parish Museum building. Just to give you a little background, Southampton Center established this past year a 501c nonprofit organization following the departure of Parish Museum. We have been involved, the board has been involved in programming for this summer. This summer is going to be the first summer that the center is going to have a pilot programming. I think about 5 or 6 events going on over there. Primarily, these events are focused on fundraising, raising the funds for restoration of the existing building, and then, of course, following that, the development and ongoing operations of it. We are being focused on this fundraising effort in the absence of any sign on the building to identify it somehow as to what this is and where Southampton Center is basically the reason I'm here for these 2 signs. The signs are one on the building and one on the wall, retaining wall that separates the grounds from the sidewalk. The signs, I must say, these are not permanent signs. Even the name Southampton Center is not a permanent name.
Will they be up for a year or 2, probably?
I'd say a year and a half,
Right,
somewhere
okay.
in that category. The reason, and I'm not talking about the lack of permanency of these things, is that, first of all, one of the objectives was association of this entity with Southampton, and hence the name Southampton. And the reason for Southampton Center for not being more specific as to what type of a facility this would be is because we are in the process of defining that, talking to various different venues. Some are art-oriented, some are performing arts, some are film, some are community-oriented. So this is something in the development. And I would like to emphasize that we have not designed these signs as permanent structures on this building. Actually, we have an architect on board right now, Machado and Silvetti, which is working on the restoration renovation of the building, and they will propose more permanent signs. And with the fundraising efforts going ahead and the name and the entity of the establishment finding more root, the name, I would say, that is also going to be revised. But for the present, which is this summer and possibly next summer, these are signs that we're considering. The 2 signs, the more important one, as far as the building itself being a historic building, is the one that goes on top of on the building itself, on the center line of the building, on top of the 3 arches. And one of the concerns that we had was that this sign not stand out again as a bulky sign, and hence we chose a plexiglass material that is a translucent material, and here's a sample of it, so that this sits about less than an inch away from the brick wall, and then this way the color and some elements of the brick wall will show through with the lettering again in black. Of course, this is not the font that is being used. The height of the sign is 14 inches. The length of it is 8 feet, and you can see it in the drawing that you have in front of you. I think it's the drawing number on the second page. Actually, it shows it exactly where it's located, which is going to be on top of the 3 arches, between the eave and the top of the arch. And this is going to be attached in between the bricks, not on the bricks, with gussets that are going to be screwed in the mortar, so that again it would not damage the original brickwork of the building. The second sign is the logo of the Southampton Center, and I would like to also submit a variation of it that what you have in front of you is not going to be the case. This is going to be the sign that's going to be.
You put that, thank you.
I think we have a copy of that, but
We have a copy.
Actually, this is a revised version of it because we did want to put the address 25 Jobs Lane on it. Again, not only a requirement, but also we have, through documentations and fundraising efforts, referred to this building in the absence of a name to 25 Jobs Lane, and hence 25 Jobs Lane should be somehow designated somewhere on the premises. And this sign is a PVC sign that is going to be placed exactly 22 inches by 55 inches, which is the size of a recess opening on the retaining wall, and it's going to exactly fill in that recess on the left-hand side as you approach the building. Again, both of these signs are temporary signs.
Copy of the actual signs with you?
I don't have, that's the copy of the actual sign.
Do you want us to enter this into the record?
Yes, correct.
I'm just confused.
You have a question?
I do.
Okay.
Maybe, is it this one?
Yes.
Or the other one that says Arts Community?
No, that's not going to be
That's
it.
not it.
No.
Okay,
We
so
eliminated the
that
Arts
is
Committee, 25 jobs.
What
That's,
you're proposing
that's what we're proposing, correct.
on
Simplified it.
plexiglass.
Simplify it, exactly.
This is
Plexiglass
this
for
is
This is
above.
PVC.
this is
And
PVC.
PVC.
The plexiglass will be above the.
The plexiglass, which is sitting on the
So-
original brickwork of the building.
This the plexiglass will be here,
Okay,
and on the retaining wall,
it's PVC.
the PVC.
Which is
I
a
think it's
white
good
background.
to have the address on there.
I think
I think it's
it'll
really
help
key to put
in
the address.
identifying it. We've referred to a number of documents as far as both fundraising and advertising the venues and the pilot programming as 25 Drobes Lane. Again, in the absence of a name or a recognized name. And this is an issue for us as we go along. But as the center defines itself more, and again, fundraising and would be element that would define the identity.
Are you
of
asking
this.
for a donation?
I sure do.
Not free publicity here. Ryan, any comments?
No, I think it's very tasteful.
Christine?
No, my question is, I understand this is a temporary sign, right? And this may not be the permanent name.
Correct.
Okay.
It's
How
not that
long-
I wouldn't say may, for sure it's not the permanent name.
How
but,
long will it be a temporary sign, do we know?
A temporary sign, I would say that I'd give it no more than 2 seasons.
2 years then?
Basically, this is an effort towards raising the funds, and raising the funds is tantamount to some extent identifying both the type of venue that goes there and who would be supporting it, and that name would be through that fundraising defined.
I guess my only concern is that temporary things sometimes become permanent, and I wouldn't want to see this be the permanent name.
I understand where the
As far
board's
as the
coming
aesthetics
from.
of the sign, are you okay with it though?
The only thing that I could propose is that you could put a time limit on the approved sign.
I mean, we have to make sure we're within our jurisdiction. You're referring to the name. We're really supposed to be responsible just for the
Okay.
makeup, the material, and the aesthetics.
Aesthetics,
So, so do you have any issues with the makeup, material, or aesthetic?
No, I might like to see 25 Job's Lane a little larger, but that's just...
Okay,
Okay.
that shouldn't be a problem.
Esther, comments?
I like the font. I take some issue with the red arches because I don't think it really relates as well to the grandeur of the building. So I might like to see something, but if it's a temporary sign, I'm fine with that.
I mean, the 3 arches were proposed by a branding consultant that basically proposed this. Both the name Southampton Centre and the arches, which is a depiction of the 3 arches, and the color of it being more in line.
And you're
with
gonna
the color of
reapproach when you have your final.
But again, these are all temporal, and we hope that sooner than even 2 seasons we can come in here with new name and new signage.
We hope sooner.
That's right.
Good luck in your fundraising efforts. Any public comment on the application? Anything further from the board?
Nope.
No.
Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the sign for the Southampton Centre at 25 Job's Lane. There are 2 signs.
Make sure we add in our motion the, with the,
Temporary.
well, let's not go to the temporary portion of it, but we have an amended,
Okay.
Showing the
rendering.
address.
We have an amended rendering that includes the address. And that's the one we're approving.
It's been a motion.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Good luck.
Thank you, Sam.
Thank you for your efforts, Fiona.
Thank you.
Next
Next
application, please.
application is Radio Shack for storefront signs as well as awnings.
Good evening, Mr. Chairman, members of the board. Richard Tripakowski. I did bring with me tonight samples of all the materials and colors that the signs and the awnings will be, which I will put in.
That was good.
And I also have the complete specs on the gooseneck lighting as well as the awning, which I think we may not have had when we put the app, so put that first. It's actually, I don't think, that much different than what has currently been there. This is the direction that Radio Shack Corporate is going with for the new look and logos on the signs.
Thank you. Here.
We'll start first with the lighting.
It's gooseneck lighting as proposed on the application there. Very similar to what is on the building now, but it'll just be new ones put on basically.
Changing in the illumination or increasing it or decreasing the illumination that currently is,
No.
remains the same.
Yeah.
Any questions about the gooseneck lighting? Brian?
No, the lighting's fine.
Christine?
No.
Esther?
Okay.
I'm good with it.
All right, awning. Just brown?
Brown.
Will there be any
with the
writing
white-
or any?
Yes, on the front of it, there will be, and it's on the plan there, also just some wording along the front, the lower edge of the awning.
The apron?
Okay, on the
On the
apron,
apron,
on the
yeah.
apron, you're putting play it, build it, connect it, power it? Christine, any comments about the awning?
I just don't, I don't know that we have allowed wording on our awnings.
Never.
We don't
That's
want
why I'm
phone
asking.
numbers. No, I'm not
Brian?
in agreement with the wording on the awning.
No.
Wording?
No.
Wording. lighting.
It's
You're
advertising.
It's advertising.
We-
Well, I have
Awnings aren't supposed to be
Photos of
advertising.
numbers of other awnings along there with wording along the bottom the same way. And the current Radio Shack one has that, it's on there now. The only thing that's different is it's a rollout awning versus this is a shade awning.
If you have photos to supply, please submit them. And we're also not we're assuming they were approved.
Well, this is true. We're assuming that.
Not everyone follows the rules and guidelines of the Village of Southampton.
Seriously?
And again, this here is something that they are looking to do nationally, so it's not specific to one particular area. They do like to have all their stores look, as similar as
But
possible.
currently it says Radio Shack. It doesn't say play it.
No,
build.
I didn't say it was the same words, but I said it had wording on it.
Yes.
I take a little offensive chase here.
Sorry,
But
that's what they passed
however,
along to.
what you're displaying is exactly what we're trying to actually
Knock down.
to instruct. What we have approved in past is the name of the corporation or company that you represent. Not any billboard or any type of
what you're
advertisement
saying.
as to what you're doing.
I
A
got you.
telephone number, a website, or anything.
So if it said Radio Shack,
If
that
it said
would-
Radio Shack, it'd be fine. But the play it, build it, just the billboardish
Mhm.
feature is something that we have not allowed. And I don't think we want to start a precedent now. So any approval we would do would be
Amendment,
subject to the
that's
removal of
subject to-
that. Do you need to speak with your agents in order to
Now,
get?
if that's what is acceptable to the town.
How about
that's
no
what-
lettering whatsoever?
I think they'd like to maintain the name, at least Radio Shack
Okay,
on
thought
there.
I'd ask.
Okay?
Yes.
So it would be subject to the removal of,
Okay.
and what about Radio Shack? Are you adding Radio Shack to, or are you going to leave it?
I would like to maintain the Radio Shack.
So
the option.
before we would have that, we would need another elevation showing Radio Shack as your approved application.
Okay, then let me ask you this: can we approve it tonight without any wording?
Yes, you
And
can.
should they want to come back for that, come back for it?
If you want to come back,
Just at least they can get, because I know they're anxious to get the job up.
your
The answer is
discretion.
yes.
Your discretion.
Yes, we'll do
Okay.
that.
Understand this.
We're getting to that. We're moving. So the awning. Any questions, Sam?
Only questions I have is that there's no elevation on the side with any additional, it's all going to be solid as far as you're concerned, correct, at this point?
Yes.
No, really. Okay,
I
thank
think
you.
on
Just
the other
wanted-
sheet, it shows you the side of the awning house.
That's what I wanted to poke that. So it's blank. Okay. Thank you. Nope.
That's it. Awning, Christine.
Is this the
We're
brown
just
awning?
talking about the awning. Yes.
Yeah,
the brown.
awning, okay with just Radio Shack on it?
No.
No, we're just saying nothing now.
on it. Okay, fine, lovely.
Brian?
Same.
Okay. Now we'll get to the Radio Shack. This is your color?
Yes, that's the color of the circle, as you see on the.
what is this?
Everything is listed on the back. That's the
Okay.
color the Radio Shack and the box is going to be.
Okay. And right now, what you're proposing is you're actually taking what the original sign, which has a smaller version, you're increasing the font of the R, correct?
They are, and it's a stainless steel backing, which is the little stainless steel.
Christine,
Really?
comments?
I think that the original sign that's there is way more appropriate for Southampton. And I think the bringing up the R and that logo, I don't think it's appropriate.
Ryan?
I tend to agree. I don't think it fits the character of an historic village. I mean, it's fresh and new, and I'm sure it's their new logo, but a big red R like that, it just doesn't do it for me.
Esther?
I would like to see the R smaller. I mean, I realize we're dealing with a major corporation, but aesthetically, I would agree.
Yeah.
I'd like to see the sign stay the way it is. I don't like the stainless, the shininess, or the material that's being used, or the increase in the font size. I think corporate, otherwise, everyone knows where that store is. The signage that is there now was looked at about 12, 14 years ago. It was approved, and I realize you're doing a change, but minimizing it is the direction that I'd like to go. So I would not agree with the R being that size, and especially with a stainless steel background. So it's
The corporate image, again, this is what all of their signs will be, and I understand it is the village
We,
here.
we,
and the
we
right
run
to
into
build.
this challenge.
I know.
It's the oldest English settlement in New York State here.
We run into this challenge quite often. Obviously, we did it with CVS, and we've done it with other companies that have changed their logo and
Chase.
stop with the Chase stuff.
But they cooperated.
Yes, and
As did CVS.
unfortunately, we still have to abide by a certain code, and we are charged with the responsibility of keeping aesthetics and the harmonious applicants within the village of Southampton. And unfortunately, at this time, it doesn't seem like you have the board's vote on the sign portion of it. That's the reason why I want to do each one individually, so we know exactly what our challenges are, so that when you go back to your vendor or go back to your agent, you know exactly what.
May I ask, would it be acceptable if rather than stainless steel, it were painted silver?
Well, I was going to ask that question. I'm concerned about the reflective quality of this when you have the goosenecks on it, and I can't imagine what that's going to look
Because
like.
quite honestly, I think that is their end determination, is probably going to wind up with paint anyway, because it's becoming impractical, it seems, that's what the original focus was. But I think that they would be totally acceptable to silver paint
It still seems to be a challenge with regards to the size
of
of
the R.
Yeah.
Now, how large is it, and how much would you want to see it reduced? The size of it, I believe, is on the...
We heard one person say reduction, and we heard another person say leave it. So there's a fine line in between somewhere. We don't like to redesign, but we do like to give instruction. You have one person who likes the sign the way it is.
I'd be fine with a 50% reduction on the R. That would leave you 14 inches, and Radio Shack being 8 inches. The ratio would be great, but without the stainless steel on the back.
I would accept tonight, if it could be given, that the surface be painted and not stainless, and that we do that reduction.
Because of the amount of changes, and I understand you're working on the
Of the
time.
letter R. Right?
I understand that you're really working on the time schedule, but the amount of changes that have to be done, first the awning, size of the lettering, and the material that's being used, we would feel more comfortable if we had a set of designs that actually portray the approval. We've had situations in past time where people forgot to make the changes, and we had nothing to fall back on.
That's understood. So could we possibly be put on for the next 2 weeks?
You are automatically on our agenda, remain on the agenda until our next meeting.
Okay.
The next meeting is
I think the 26th.
26th. So
not
we
sure.
would like to see the changes in our files.
Do I need to bring that to the
24th.
building department, or do I
Bring
just
it to
bring
the
it
building
here?
department
Whoa,
so
whoa,
that
whoa, whoa, whoa.
Well, certainly we are able to view it on our own personal time, but just in case there's any public that wish to foil the file and take a look at it
What's
as
the
well.
next meeting? 26th, okay, that's
Okay,
So prior
so
to the next meeting, we would
just
like to
for
see that on file.
clarification, if I come back, painted surface rather than stainless, 50% reduction in the R.
in the R.
And I guess at that point, if we
And-
want to put Radio Shack on the awning,
No, I
No?
would prefer not to.
You prefer to have it blank?
Or just to have it
Well,
blank. But there are
A
other,
member said they do wish not. Other members said they do. Radio Shack, any issues, Brian, with on the awning?
I think we don't need, to see Radio Shack 5 times,
I agree.
So it's either, no sign with just it on the awning, or the sign and nothing on the awnings.
actually much cleaner.
okay.
Say nothing
Sounds
on the
reasonable.
awning and Radio Shack up there.
Everything sounds reasonable now, huh?
Very good, yes.
You're very professional.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Is
Have a
there any
great
public
evening.
comment on the application? Okay, at this time, you don't have the vote, so you're asking this board to adjourn, correct?
Yes, please.
Motion to approve applicant's request to adjourn until next meeting.
I make a motion that we approve the applicant's request to adjourn the storefront signs and awnings for Radio Shack at 68 Main Street
Until our
Second.
next meeting.
until our next meeting.
It's been moved and second. All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you very much.
Thank
Thank you. Next application, please.
Just a point of order, if you will. Do you want us to keep these
Yes.
items?
Yes, keep them in the file.
Okay. Next application is Aaron, I think I'm pronouncing that right. On 83 Main Street for window sign.
Is the applicant present? These are window signs. Okay, so they're just
Oh, we're gonna
decals.
change the
They just
window
want to
sign.
change
Any
it according to the
issues?
season. No, I think it's
Christine?
kind of fun.
Over there by any chance?
Pam, any questions?
No, I'm fine with it, actually. Nice.
Any public comment on the application? Seasonal facility is a decal in our window. Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the window signs for the seasons of Aaron, 83 Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Next application, please.
Next application is Henry Lear, 9 Main Street, for replacement of existing awning.
Lynn Egan, here on behalf of Tony and Henry Lair.
Okay.
The store is at 9 Main. There's an awning there, so we're just looking to remove and replace. And it's just a simple awning.
Like in kind? You're duplicating exactly what's there? Why is it being removed? Are there repair issues or?
The store's been open for about 2 months. It's a new store. So it's
Okay.
replacing the H. Groom awning. H. Groom was the previous shop.
And that was a striped awning?
Exactly. It was
So you-
brown and
same
white.
color, same stripe.
No,
No.
so it's just a solid navy.
You have a copy of that for a file. You don't have a
Yeah, she
copy.
has a copy.
Do I have a copy of the
The navy.
Fabric.
The
the
fabric.
fabric? Yes, I'm sorry. I thought you said file.
Navy.
Navy.
It's a good navy.
It's a nice navy.
Navy.
Really nice.
So good.
Christine, comments?
Nope.
Brian?
It's fine.
Pam?
Nope. it's
That's the-
appropriate.
Good navy.
Nice. Very good.
Any public comment on the application? Motion to approve?
I make a motion that we approve the awning application for Henry Lear at 9 Main Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Have a good evening.
Thank you.
And final sign application.
That was it.
That was it?
That was
That was
Okay.
it. Goodbye.
That concludes our sign applications for this evening. First application, historic. First application is for written decision by council. Motion to approve written decision by council.
I make a motion that we approve the written decision by council for Chester's House, 288 Horsey Neck Lane, for the 3 sets of driveway gates.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
Next application, please.
Next application, Mr. Chair, is Lipton Green, 364 Beachcomber Lane, construction of 2-story house with attached garage and pool house. Also, there is a house next door, as we know, now named vis-a-vis Beachcomber Lane Holdings LLC.
One at a time.
400
We'll take the
Beachcomber.
first.
You want to start with 364?
364.
364, just handed in a letter, we're withdrawing that application. Make life easy on everybody. I'm still gonna give you the letter that's not being built next door, I'll get that to you with the next one. We're withdrawing the
You
application.
requested this application be withdrawn.
Yes.
Motion to approve applicant's request to withdraw the
Can you
application.
state your name for the record, please?
Bruce Lifton of Lifton Green.
And you're the agent for this property and you're
I
authorized?
am in contract for it, and I'm authorized to be here.
You're the legal owner of the property?
No,
Before
no,
we
the
withdraw the application.
legal owner gave a letter which is in the file authorizing us to.
You have an agent letter?
Yes, a long time ago, yeah, from Bill
Very well.
Flanagan,
And it's
yes.
current?
Yes.
Okay,
Yeah.
good. Bruce, that's wanted to ask
No,
you,
that's,
all.
ask some question, answer.
Motion to approve applicant's request to withdraw.
Make a motion that we approve the applicant's request to withdraw the application of 364 Beachcomber Lane.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Next application is for the LCC Beachcomber Lane Holdings, sorry, LCC 400 Beachcomber.
Okay.
Silly question. The addresses are correct here now?
364 and 400, yes.
He's got small.
Bruce,
It's like
continue.
smaller.
So,
He looks a little blank on the reaction, I want to make sure. I
blank.
answer. It was
I just want to be
initial,
really careful because you put in a really big application for 464. Then your last application was 400. Just want to be absolutely clear.
The
You've
360
withdrawn 364.
Correct.
And now we're looking at 400.
correct.
Okay.
And the board had requested,
You made some modifications on certain things like
well,
the
the board
eyebrow
had
and some
requested
other.
at the last meeting when we wanted to approve it, to what was initially approved at 400, at 364, the board expressed concern that we wouldn't build the same house
Understood.
twice.
And-
So what I'm handing in now, we're actually going to build the same house once, 0 times 1. So what I'm handing in now is for the 400, withdrawing the approval of the past approved house, because the board had requested that. Okay? So what this is a letter from the owner, together with the limited liability company showing he's authorized to sign, together with the title showing they own it. So basically, this is in simple form, them withdrawing the past approval for the past house.
Bruce, question. We have no elevations, we have no design. Let's just understand exactly where we're going with this.
Okay.
400 Beachcomber, you're proposing right now the construction of a single-family home.
Yes, but 400 Beachcomber, 3 months ago, you guys were kind enough to approve a home that is no longer on the table. So at the last meeting, when we wanted to move it one lot to the north, to 364, there was concern that it hadn't been withdrawn from 400 yet. So I'm officially withdrawing that approval for that house from 400 if it's still needed, even though we're not building it next door, because we're in for a different home to be approved now in place of it.
But we don't have a set of plans for this new home. New
Yes,
construction.
she's looking at it.
But,
This is the landscape plan.
okay, so we have,
No.
thank you.
No. Be careful. It's mixed in.
I'm going to hand out something anyway to try and be helpful, but I wanted to withdraw the old one first because I knew
Bruce,
that was a
we're
concern.
really clear on that. You're doing
Okay, we're
exactly
clear on
what
that
you,
portion.
we're
Just
doing
hand
exactly
this
what you
in.
asked us to do. And
Perfect.
we're all good with it, okay? Just the legal side, I'd feel more comfortable with the titles, the LCCs and all that, having counsel write the decision.
That's okay, okay,
So I just
perfect.
want to direct that towards the chair.
Okay. So good evening, board. We're here for a different house, 400 Beachcomber. What I'm rolling out is Beachcomber itself, which I'll walk through in a minute. But first, what I'd like to do, we had looked at what was submitted, and we had certain issues with it, and we've reduced some of the massing, which I think has changed the house substantially for the better. So here are 5 sets, both in a 3D type computer model as well as in plan elevation, to show, if you compare it to the other one, you'll see that the garage building itself is reduced by 4 feet, plus there was like a horizontal skylight on top that's been removed. Okay, so you'll be able, that is, first, that is the old one, that's not,
Yeah,
okay.
I'm
Sorry, I don't mean to confuse things, I'm trying to keep it simple and go
going
slow.
to throw this one back.
You're not coming back next month to move to another house
No,
again?
no, we're done with the
Val, slow
checkerboard
him-
game and the
Val,
jumping.
Slow them down a little bit. Okay. Please.
Okay, so if you look at the garage part itself
Uh-huh.
versus the plans that were turned in, you look at the garage part itself versus the plans that were turned in, you'll see a
You have a set
reduction.
for Zach?
No, I didn't.
Here's that.
Here, give Zach my set, we'll share this one.
Okay, and Zach, you can see on here as well.
Right.
Okay, so the garage building itself was reduced by approximately 6 feet in height between what I'm calling the horizontal skylight on the top and the height of the roof itself, because we wanted to soften it a little. Now, 400 Beachcomber is on a private street behind a gate. The lot is close to 900 feet off of Wickapog, so almost 3 football fields to put it in perspective. On the other side, the east side of Beachcomber, there will never be homes built on Beachcomber. They access through flag lots from Wickapog and are down toward the pond. So there will not be homes across the street.
How many acres is the lot?
3 acres, 3.1 something.
Okay. Any other structures going on?
A pool house.
Okay, is that part of your application?
I believe it is. Val? It is, okay, it should be in there, I believe it is. Okay, so what I've done here is these are the private gates to Beachcomber. First of all, this is the aerial view of the lot we're speaking of, which is the southern of the two.
Can you pick that up?
Sure. Okay, these are the gates to the street itself, which are up here. This is the vacant lot here. This is the proposed home for here. Then these are the homes. Now, each of these 4 homes are on about 1.8 acres, whereas these 2 lots are plus or minus 3 acres. This one's a little over, this one's a little under. Okay? So you have
Notification.
they're all shingle-style homes, some a bit more eclectic than others. The more recent one's more eclectic. That one was built, I don't know, 6, 7 years ago. This one was built 2 years ago. And then this is what we're proposing. It came from a barn and farmhouse. It is an eclectic, today's interpretation, beauty is in the eye, so to speak, of a barn.
Point of reference north to south, which is the lot we're referring to?
We are referring to this one, the one further away from Wickapog.
Okay.
Okay? And it's about 900 feet from Wickapog before the house starts. So nobody but these 4 homes and all the people who live in them and their visitors and things will actually see this house because it's behind the gates. I don't know if that's a good or bad
Why don't
thing.
we talk about the merits of the house rather
Sure.
than not being able to see
The
it?
house,
And then the other question is, have you re-noticed the neighbors?
Yes, and I have
The
all
new
of that.
application?
Yes, I
Do you
have all of
can you
that.
enter that into the record?
Absolutely.
Okay.
Yeah, the landscape plan is here.
Landscape plans there. Notice and mailing is here too.
Okay, so here's the affidavit of posting.
Do I not need this then, since you have it?
I'm happy to hand in another
The
copy.
new app, is that a copy or the original?
This is a copy, I think we turned in the original, and
You
this.
good with
Yeah, we have the original.
that? Okay, we have it then.
Okay, great.
Thank you.
Okay, so the posting, the mailing, the publication, all those.
For the new house.
Yes, for the new house. The merits of the home, it's a shingle-style home with Morgan windows and with Connecticut fieldstone proposed for the base. I'll hand this in because it's a bigger picture than what was on the plans. With a pool, a tennis court, and a small pool house, as shown over there. I think the home is self-explanatory, so I'm happy to answer any questions.
Brian, comments?
No, I think it's very tasteful. I think it's, fits that neighborhood and its setting. I don't see anything for the pool house, though.
I don't either.
Okay, so then we'll have to come back for the pool house, that's the least, no worries, then we'll focus on the house. I thought it was in there, but I've been wrong.
Is there a connector between, is there a structure connecting the pool house and the main house?
No.
Proposal?
Absolutely not.
Okay. So, what would this, is this a pergola that's riding off of this house?
That is a covered porch,
Is that part of this application?
yes.
Is the intent ever to connect the pool house to the
Never.
main house? I'm just familiar with the massing.
Never, never, understood.
I don't have any issues with this. I think it's
Esther,
very
any
handsome.
comments?
This is the covered porch, which then leads to a screen porch beyond. Is that
It's,
correct?
at this point, it's actually all open. So we've taken out the screens, it's all open. And that was why we put on the illustration, that was one of the.
Christine, comments?
No.
tastefully done with
Very
the
handsome
vernacular
house.
of
Thank
all
you.
the homes
Very
there in that
handsome house.
streetscape. If we could do us a favor and just turn that around so that the camera can get a view of your streetscape.
And Val?
My pretty little
Your,
presentation.
your cut and paste there.
Exactly.
Is there any public comment on the application? Zach, save the best for last.
Oh, this is new construction in an area that is adjacent to the Wickapog Historic District, but is not technically within it as far as I know.
My understanding as
I
well.
may be incorrect in that, but I believe the Wickapog Historic District really just hugs Wickapog Lane to the north and south. But this would be a section that extends to the south of that, and I have no issues.
Nothing further from the board?
This is the front door.
Any public comment? Bruce, the application is within the boundaries of the historic district, so therefore you understand procedurally we have to have a decision in writing. Our counsel's not here this evening, but he will have record of this evening's meeting. So we will empower him to prepare a written decision at our next meeting. Do you have any questions?
I'm waiting to hear a vote on it, though. before-
You won't hear a vote. It has to be in
it does-
writing.
Oh, okay.
Has
I
to be in
see. So
writing.
it's not that
Just
you
hear
guys
Now-
make a motion and then he writes and then you
Right.
approve it. Okay. I see. Okay, I didn't understand. Okay.
Now you can do one or two things. You could do that, or you could wait and add in the pool house. I don't know if that's part of the application, if that was part of the building permit that you've applied
I'll do
for.
that separately.
Do you want? Okay, so you,
Because I'd like to get going on the house to the extent that everybody's happy with it once it's, once it's approved. I'd like to take it to the next step with the HERS rating, insulation stuff, and all that.
your discretion.
How many square feet is the pool house, the proposed pool house?
It's not before us
Down
now.
at 200-ish, or?
It's a fairly modest building,
It's,
right?
yeah, it's not supposed to be a big, it's just a place
Right,
for a
it
little
didn't look
shade,
like-
and yeah,
okay.
refrigerator, nothing
Okay.
like that.
So no other questions. You understand the procedure.
Understood.
All right.
I'm not sure that 400 is historic. I know there's always a gray area on that because the way the line is drawn in the village building department, it may be that 364 is or isn't and 400 isn't, but I guess we'll go
But
on.
since it's vacant land, it would be considered
It's new construction.
Attached.
not
And-
contributing because there's nothing there to contribute. So whether it's in or not is
The written
Yeah, but-
decision should also, it's also going to include clarification of
the
all
new
this
design
shifting and
impacts the
moving on.
character of the overall area. So
Right.
Okay, so we'll wait for this.
Okay.
Thank you, board.
Motion to adjourn for written decision by council.
I make a motion that we adjourn the application for Beach Camel Lane Holdings at 400 Beach Camel Lane for written decision by our council.
Second.
All in favor.
Aye.
Thank you, board.
Good luck.
Have a nice evening. Thanks. so much.
Concludes our historic applications for
Bruce,
this
do you
evening.
want some of these back?
Nah, we print them. Unless you have too many, then I'll take one.
Yeah, why don't you take a couple?
Get the garbage out of your way.
Yeah, that'd be great. Thank you.
Thanks so much.
Thanks, Val, it looks nice.
No, you did great.
First application, non-historic.
All right, boss. Next one is Barbara Schwartz, 120 Meadowmere Place for construction of driveway gates.
Applicant here? Let's take a look.
Good night.
We have questions. Applicant present? No? Motion to adjourn.
I make a motion that we adjourn the application of Barbara Schwartz at 120 Meadowmere Place for the driveway gates.
Second.
All in favor.
Aye.
Aye.
Next application, please.
Next application, 63 Halsey Street, one-story addition, second floor dormer dwelling and additions. Vincent Duramo.
Hello.
Evening.
Could you come to the microphone, please? Your name for the record?
I'm Vince Duramo. I'm the owner.
Okay.
This is our architect, Tom Fox.
Sure. I'm sure he has a presentation.
Exactly.
Are these people with you back there?
Yes, my family.
I'm fine with it.
Proceed.
Start with the site plan. We're proposing relatively modest additions of about 450 square feet total. It's a 1,139 square feet house.
I'm sorry?
2,139 gross square feet now. We're proposing about 450 square feet more. That square footage would be in 3 locations. On the south side of the house, a second floor dormer. On the west side of the house, some small additions for a mudroom and an extension of the second floor gable. And then along the south side of the garage, it would be a 3-foot extension to widen that bay of the garage.
Maybe you want to just turn to the elevations and
Yes.
just go over the.
So, again, starting with the south side, this is the dormer that we're proposing putting on the second floor. Moving around to the west side, this is the mudroom volume that we're adding, and this piece of the roof, is actually this slice of the roof is getting extruded out 3 or 4 more feet. So it looks the same as the present gable end, it's just a few feet farther out.
Got it.
To the front of the house, we're taking an enclosure that was at the entrance porch and removing that to open it back up to be an open front porch. And we are generally residing and trimming the house. It presently has a composition shingle. We're looking to put a red cedar clapboard that is painted white. New windows that are an Anderson 400 series with simulated divided lights permanently installed exterior, interior. And new trim and railing system on the former sunroom space.
And the second story deck is existing, correct?
That is existing, correct. There's presently exposed concrete block at the base of this, and at the front porch there's some concrete parging. We're looking to put a fieldstone veneer over that.
Okay.
And just to switch over to the garage, it's presently a long range of garages that is shared ownership amongst a number of the people on the street. So this is our end unit. We're adding the 3 feet, and we're proposing putting a new garage door in that matches all of the other adjacent garage doors. It presently is the only one that doesn't match.
Brian, comments?
No, I think it's terrific. Yeah.
Christine?
No, I think it's great.
Esther?
Looks like a very tasteful addition.
Ann?
Very handsome, very well done.
Tastefully done.
Sensitive to the kind of thing we want to see.
Great.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Well,
Good
let's,
luck with you and your family.
Thank you.
Handsomely done.
You want to make a motion?
Just give us a second. Let's see if their family has any comments.
Do you have any comments?
Do you have any comments?
Come on, guys.
I didn't ask. I hope you didn't pack your whole house here. That's not yours?
No.
Oh.
I can't speak to that.
Is that the
Okay.
hospital thing?
Motion to approve.
I make a motion that we approve the application of Vincent Duramo on 63 Horsey Street.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good luck.
Good luck.
So what is in the white bag?
I don't know. I'm afraid to ask. I'm a little nervous right now.
It's not you?
I thought you were going to unveil the hospital.
Should be there.
And a final
Okay,
application
guys,
for the evening.
Southampton Hospital Association, 240 Meeting House Lane, for construction of additions and installation of 2 emergency generators. Wayne?
Good evening, board members. I have the affidavit of mailing and posting for the record. And have first, just procedurally, this proposed application is involving a new modern operating room, which will involve adding a little space to the existing northerly side of the hospital. And as such, the addition requires a variance of lot coverage. We're presently in front of the Zoning Board of Appeals. We expect it was closed for a decision at their next meeting, which is at the end of the month. We are also presently in front of the Planning Board. The Planning Board adopted a negative declaration. I have the site plan, which will help us understand where everything is going. Meeting House Lane on the north, Old Town Road on the east, Lewis on the west, Herrick, of course, on the south, the existing building, and basically we're talking about this bump out in the basically somewhat courtyard on the north side. As far as the architecture, I believe we gave you a copy of this document, which is just illustrating how the change of space. But basically what the hospital's required to do, we can't close the hospital down, they can't close the existing operating room. What they're required to do is, the existing operating room being so old, will be decommissioned after the new operating room has been approved and otherwise. So that is the reason why we need the extra space. It isn't like they can just go in and take over the existing space. So this sort of shows how all that interior space is being changed, and there's a larger version of that as well. So this bump out is in that existing area, and I believe you have this rendering. Very simply speaking, it's the brick facade and open area is going to match that which you see there presently.
The hallway is staying?
There will still be an exterior hallway around.
Exterior hallway.
Outside of the operating room.
Got it.
So if you go now
You walk down.
Right, they're adding
and
this.
around and you're in that exterior hallway,
you're pulling it
that's still
out.
going to be there.
Got it.
It's just going to be further out.
Okay.
Questions, Brian?
No, I think it's straightforward. I think it's fine. And I see the location of the generators is going to be back.
Originally, it's interesting, the generators, especially after Sandy became an issue, there's existing generators, and the need to have larger, more modern generators became an issue. And so we had a series of locations. Originally, there was something planned in this area, they relocated it, and we actually, when we first made our application to the zoning board, was trying to locate them there. And since that time, they've relocated them in this location. It's not shown on this site plan, but I can show you a little
You've
better.
moved them to higher ground, right?
They're in the area where the existing loading dock is area.
I don't think we have an issue with it.
I don't have an issue with that. I mean,
Esther, any comments?
I'm sure it's needed. We're happy to have it.
Pam?
I agree.
Since there's no public, there's no comment. Wayne, anything further?
That's it.
Motion to approve?
Make a motion that we approve the application of Southampton Hospital Association on Meeting House Lane for the addition and 2 emergency generators.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thanks, Wayne.
Thank you.
What's left on our agenda right now are the minutes from May 8th. Everyone had the opportunity to review? Questions, comments, concerns?
No.
Motion to approve the minutes from May 8th.
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from May 8th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And minutes from May 22nd. All members present? Okay. We have the opportunity to review. Questions, comments, concerns?
I make a motion that we approve the minutes from May 22nd, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. And motion to close the June 12th.
Do it.
You
I
do
make
it.
a motion that we close the meeting of the Board of Architectural Review and Historic Preservation for June 12th, 2013.
Second.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Good night.
Good night.
Good night.